Well, the Naira has set a new record, falling to its lowest against the dollar at the parallel market. Bureau De Change operators BDCs noted that the Naira is currently selling at 1,000 Naira against the dollar at the black market. On Tuesday, the traders put the buying price of the dollar at 990 Naira and the selling price at 1,000 Naira, leaving a profit margin of 10 Naira. Now, the figure represents a depreciation of 7 Naira or 0.7% from the 993 Naira a dollar it traded on Monday. In a report by the Nigerian online newspaper, The Cable, a BDC operator simply known as Atiku in Ishaga said he was selling the dollar at 1,000 Naira, while Shehu, another street trader in Ogba, offered the same rate. Meanwhile, according to data released on the FMDQ Security Exchange, the official forex trading portal showed that the Naira opened at 764.09 Naira per dollar on Tuesday, September 26, 2023, and closed at 755.08 Naira per dollar on Tuesday, September 26, 2023. Now, the last time the Naira hit its lowest was on August 10 when it traded at 950 Naira. Now, analysts have argued that the failure of the banks to supply an adequate amount of FX to alleviate pressure in the official market pushes demand to the open market. Now, to curtail the Naira free fall, Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Adu, had said the country needs to address its $6.8 billion over billion $6.8 billion overdue forward payments and shrinking reserves. Meanwhile, the president of the BDC operators, Aminu Gwadabe, said the BDCs are proposing consolidation to the Central Bank of Nigeria to make it possible for them to access more FX. Gwadabe said obtaining forex has become difficult for some operators, so merging their resources would make it easier to have the liquidity needed to obtain FX. Oh well, still with us on the show is Nick Agule and Chukuma Okoro, both public affairs analysts. Gentlemen, now this is what is before the Central Bank of Nigeria. Now the Central Bank has a new governor, Olayemi Cardoso, and and the deputies that he has to work with. It's a daunting task. It's a daunting task to revive the economy. But a quick summary of your take on this appointment and what the governor and his deputies should do in the now to ensure that the Naira saves face. I'm going to start with you quickly, Nick, and then I'll go to Chukuma.
Okay, thank you very much. There are two ways to stop the free fall of the Naira. Just two ways.
All right. We'll hoping that. Okay.
And Chukuma who are on now.
Okay. Unfortunately, yes. Unfortunately, we missed out on the first, the other things you said after the two ways. So, if you don't mind, can you recap?
No, I was just about to describe the two ways when I lost your picture. Okay. I wasn't sure whether I was with you anymore. So these are the two ways. Sorry. Number one, increase the dollar supply to the Nigerian economy. Numbers by Nigerians. If President Tinubu, because it doesn't appear that he understands this, if I look at the about 5 months that they have been in office, and even what the central bank governor said, I don't think he touched on the fundamentals, because if he talks about correcting the forward payments and all that, the question is how, and the how is increase dollar supply, reduce demand for dollars. And if the government hasn't done anything so far on those two things, there is nothing that is going to correct the free fall of the Naira against the dollar. Absolutely nothing. I mean, President Tinubu, his handlers that have access to this should let them know. So the question is that, how do you increase dollar supply? There are low-hanging fruits. Low-hanging fruit to the president. Number one, as we speak today, and as the government concedes, a huge quantum of our crude oil production is being stolen. Even was it 2 days ago, there was a news that there was a ship that was arrested with stolen crude in the Niger Delta. The president only needs to sit down in. Have I lost? Yeah, the president only needs to sit down in a. Yeah, the president only needs to sit down and invest 10 to 15 minutes of his time to read the Riot Act to the service chiefs and the heads of other security agencies and say, if they steal 1 barrel of Nigeria's crude, all of you are going home. And I can assure you that the service chiefs and other security heads will ensure that our crude is not stolen. Once our crude is not stolen, what then happens? We will now be selling an extra 1 million barrels of crude oil per day at today's price of $94, $95 a barrel. That is $95 million daily into our economy, and that is almost $3 billion monthly into our economy. It will deal with part of the supply issue. All right. There are government agencies and oil companies and all sorts of people who are owing Nigeria's money. We heard it the other day. Get their CEOs in a room. As a president, invest 15 minutes of your time. Read the Riot Act to them and say, if you don't go and pay into government coffers what you are owing us, within 1 month, I'm withdrawing your operating licenses in Nigeria. You are going home back to your own countries. The money should start flowing into the government coffers. That is on the supply side. On the demand side, one of the biggest demand for foreign exchange in Nigeria is petroleum products. So, like I said in the first segment, we are buying petrol in Naira, but we're importing it in dollars. So every cent we use to buy petrol at the pump must be converted into dollars to go and bring the petrol from abroad. The president has so far shown nothing as regards refineries. And I mean, let me just respond to my co-panelist, Chukuma. I think I didn't make myself clear. I mean, the oil industry is my industry. I worked there all my life. So I'm fully aware that President Obasanjo sold the refineries, and I'm aware that President Yaradua fell under pressure and reversed the sales. What I was saying was that because the refineries were sold before, a template for their sale is still there in government archives. And that President Tinubu only just needs people to go and pull out those archives and brush them up with current realities and make these refineries ready for sale. It is something he could have done within a month if he had a tax team that says, since these refineries were sold before, pick the documentation for that sale and don't go back and reinvent the wheel. Just update that template with current realities and put up these refineries for sale. As of today, we would have either already sold the refineries or would have been at the verge of selling. Now, if we sell them, I can assure you that global operators will come in, they will fix these refineries for us. It's the same way MTN and Co came in and fixed telecoms for us, something that Nitel couldn't do for so long. And if we deal with that refining issue, there will be a huge reduction in the demand for dollars. And let's not forget government proliferation itself. President Tinubu has been traveling junketing from G20 to the UN. How many officials did he take to G20 to meet the same leaders he was going to meet at the UN? Every of those officials are going to be getting extra code, pay their flight tickets and everything in dollars. And it is Naira that will be used to convert that. So this economy, the president needs to sit back and do the hard work. You see, we have the steel industries that are lying west. We need steel for production. We need electricity for production. We need security for production. We need to activate agriculture. As my co-panelist was saying, Nigeria's biggest endowment is actually agriculture. People think it's crude oil. Look, there are countries, look, the Prime Minister of UK just went into a crisis recently by extending the period for banning petrol engines in the UK. There are countries that are already planning to ban petrol engines. How can we banking on petrol? Whereas there is no country that can ban the consumption of food. No country can ban the consumption of food. And agriculture is where we have our biggest comparative advantage. President Tinubu needs to do the hard work. For me, I'm so worried. His appointment of central bank governor and deputy governors, he has done the same mistake that the president before him have done, bringing commercial bankers into central banking. Who tells President Tinubu that commercial banking and central banking require the same skill set? This thing is like pharmacy and medicine. They are related, but they are totally different. In that central bank, you have people who have worked there for 20 years, 30 years, that should be appointed governor and deputy governor. What is this craze that you will go and bring commercial bankers? Some of them have managed banks to collapse and come and put them as central bank. And then they will not start managing the central bank as a commercial bank instead of policy banking. So for me, I'm so afraid that President Tinubu is not showing any difference from his predecessors. How can he get different results?
All right then.
Thank you very much, Nick. Nick, on to you, Chukwuma. What do you think are the factors that have contributed to this consistent decline in the value of Naira against the dollar?
Well, Joy, so many things have contributed to the consistent decline, things that are known to us. I'm afraid the decline is just beginning. Did you get that?
Oh yes.
Yeah, with you. Go on.
I said the decline is just beginning.
That's
and somebody like Cardoso, I don't envy him because he has his work cut out for him. He's Herculean and he's daunting. Nick said something about increasing the supply of dollars. From where? Do you think CBN has dollars and they don't want to give? Are they going to print dollars? They wouldn't do that. Where is he getting the supply from to meet the demand? The whole thing boils down to re-engineering the economy to be functional, export more, and more foreign exchange. And that is, how much do we have outstanding? Is it 16 trillion or billion dollars or whatever? I can't get it on top of my head. I can't get the exact amount, but there's already an outstanding. So whatever you have now, you are going to settle the outstanding before you even start giving to other subsets. How are we? Why won't the Naira decline when we have practically outsourced our life outside? We have outsourced our education. There are more than 300,000 Nigerians schooling abroad, and they all need dollar for school fees. Before, we didn't have primary and secondary school children outside studying, but now there are hundreds of thousands of them, and all of them pay their school fees back home with what? With the dollar. We have outsourced our health. We go to India. We go to Saudi Arabia. We go to all parts of the US and Canada for medicals. With what? With the US dollar. We have outsourced our tourism. We go to Seychelles. We go to Dubai. We go to Mauritius. To do what? To holiday. When we have Obudu here, Obudu Cattle Ranch. When we have other sites in Nigeria where we can go for vacation. But we have outsourced practically everything. And we need the dollar to fund these things. We have even outsourced. So why won't the Naira decline? Why won't the Naira decline? Well, during the campaigns, on a lighter note, David Ibiyeomie said that if you don't take time, Naira will tumble to 5,000. And this is like 5 months after swearing in of the president. The thing has moved from 700 to 1,000 Naira plus. We need a president. We need a man that has the political will to plug all leakages. Nick was saying something about reading riot acts to DSS, SSS, the army chief, the naval chief, and whoever to stop oil theft. Moses, in all honesty, can you and I, operating from this studio, embark on oil stealing, oil theft? We cannot.
Not, yeah.
It's people at the top. It is people at the top, and they know themselves. We need a president that will have the political will to say enough is enough. And mind you, this oil something we are talking about, and I said the other time that it accounts for up to 89% of our foreign exchange. And what is the oil price now? It's about 90 something. I checked this morning, it was about, the Brent crude is about $96. So if you factor in the cost of production, which is about $30 per barrel, so bottom line, you have 60. You have $60 that is coming to us because you have to pay the joint venture operators. So with that, are you able to meet our demands? You cannot do that. So the Naira, and the moment you leave it float as it is now, of course you can't fix it because you don't have a strong economy to fix it. Even if you fix it, there will always be the real market and the parallel market. And I keep asking, what are BDCs doing? Can't you go walk into the bank and get your dollar? Now the bankers are using it for round tripping. They get the dollar from the CBN at 745. They go and sell it outside to BDC, to the parallel market, and make about 200 and something Naira per dollar.
All right then.
So why-
Chukwuma, unfortunately, our time on the show for this is up. But I'd like you to just wrap up with your final thoughts now before I go to Nick for his final thoughts as well.
Okay, my final thought is that, look, we need to diversify. And it's not about the English. We come on TV and radio to speak every day. The people that are in charge know what to do. They are Harvard trained, Oxford trained economists. They know what to do. What they need is to muster the will, the political will to do what is right.
All right then.
That's all.
All right then. Thank you very much, Chukwuma Okoro. Nick, please, let's have your final thoughts.
So my final thought is that if the government of President Tinubu continues with what they are doing, there can be no respite for the Naira. The Naira is going to continue on a free fall. If the president wants to rescue the Naira, even the central bank does not have dollars again to come and intervene in the market. The president needs to sit down and do the hard work of transforming Nigeria's economy. You see me now, I'm in darkness. I'm in darkness. Can you see me?
Yes, we
I
can.
am in the Federal Capital Territory of one of the world's largest producers of gas. And I'm in darkness. If we continue like this, we're not going to have that productive economy that is going to support the Naira. The president needs to take that to the bank, and he should just sit down and do the hard work.
All right then, thank you very much, Nick Agule and Chukwuma Okoro, both public affairs commentators. We do appreciate you for your time. We'll take a break now. When we come back, we'll delve into business and the other parts of the show as well. Stay with us.